undress. Because the whole Heath Slater thing, and the lights go out, and he's there in the chairs. Hello everyone, welcome to more on wrestling. I'm Vinnie.
And I'm Spectrum.
And today we are looking at BattleGround Predictions.
Yeah, 2016 Battleground is just a little over 24 hours away for us.
Gosh, it's this Sunday.
It's this Sunday, yeah.
All right, well, Battleground's got a lot on the line. A lot of interesting things with this pay-per-view.
Yeah, I think that originally I was a little annoyed when they said that the brand split was happening and then the pay-per-view. I was like, why wouldn't it be like the first thing after the pay-per-view? But there's actually a lot of intrigue because now it's kind of a Raw versus SmackDown pay-per-view in a lot of the matches. It's created a lot of situations where you don't know who's going to win. There's a lot less predictability to it because of the
This is
brand
a
split.
hard pay-per-view to predict because you don't know where they're heading Monday and Tuesday night right after the pay-per-view. So literally anything could happen.
Exactly. I do want to get your thoughts, and we are going to go, but my thought process is you have to go into this pay-per-view with the assumption, because they haven't given it to us, with the assumption that eventually, just like the U.S. titles on one show and the Intercontinentals on another show,
Yes.
that there's going to be multiple belts.
Yeah, because right now one show is very, very title-heavy.
Exactly.
Raw.
Raw has the Cruiserweight title, which isn't even showing yet,
Right.
but it has the Women's title, the Tag title, and if Rollins or Reigns end up with it after the Battleground, they'll have the World title on that,
title as
and
well.
only the Intercontinental belt will be on SmackDown. So I have to go with, I'm assuming that everyone, I'm going to live in the world of, with these predictions, that eventually there'll be 2 women's titles, 2 tag titles, only because it changes things if you have a floating, who wins comes out differently if there's a floating champion.
If you're stuck to just those titles, it really, really changes what has to happen in the matches.
Exactly.
All right, well, I think I agree. I think that they are going to add some titles to SmackDown. I don't know how many they're going to add. I remember one time in history where it seemed like there were 2 titles for everything except for the tag team titles. And the tag teams were the only ones that fought on both shows. And if they did that, because they both had a little tag team division, I could see the tag team champions being the one person that fights on both shows type of thing. And then everything else, add a second women's title, a second world title, and they're set.
And they could go that route. I think that if they're going to let the champs, the tag champs float, they will let the women float too. But I don't believe that there's any. And I will go more into this in the draft video. But my thought process is part of the reason to do this was to completely separate the shows, and by having those titles. Champions float.
It loses all the separation we want. You and I want a complete separation.
But not only that, you're asking your most valuable people theoretically are the champions, to fight twice as much as everyone else.
Yeah.
To not have viable storylines because your storylines are being built up in 2 weeks instead of a month. It creates so many holes and problems.
It's harder. I hope we get complete separation between the brands.
Exactly.
The bland brands. Oh, that's
Bland
terrible.
brands.
I hope that's not a Freudian slip. It is not what I think at all. I think that I'm out of focus in my thoughts. My thoughts just aren't focused right now. But I'm hoping for a full brand split, and I want to see them take different paths and play along that line. Let's take a look at Battleground, guys. So like you said, less than 24 hours away. We have a second video. We're going to talk a lot more about the draft. Please check below, see if that's available. The draft video, it's a post-draft, our final thoughts on the draft post-draft. So that's available as well.
Yeah, we'll be posting both videos pretty much at the same time, and there'll be links to each video in each video's comments. So check out below.
Battleground.
As with Money in the Bank, we're using the Wikipedia list.
You know, that turned out to be a really good list.
Right. We found 2 matches on the pre-show that we didn't know anything about.
Didn't see advertised anywhere, and then everything seemed to be exactly as it was on Wikipedia.
Exactly. So we're gonna go with the same thought process here. And as the Wikipedia list I pulled up, there is again a pre-show match that I've heard nothing about. So we're going to predict that.
Are we going to start with the pre-show match?
Absolutely.
Give it to me, because I don't even know what it is yet.
The pre-show match they have listed is the Usos versus Breezango.
Okay. The Usos versus Breezango. Now, the Usos are on SmackDown, and then Breezango, are they on Raw?
No, also on SmackDown.
Also
so
on
this is a
SmackDown.
SmackDown versus SmackDown match.
Well, that makes it a little easier, at least, to figure out where we're headed with this. I think Breezango is, and again, hard to call because you have no idea what's coming up. But I think that they're going to do a little push with the Usos. I also think they're going to do a push with Breezango. So, wow.
When you look at the draft, and again, I'm gonna limit my draft talk as much as I can, but some of it has to be brought up in this because of how it affects the.
I know what you mean. I was going to bring some things up. Go ahead.
Assuming that there's their own draft division on SmackDown, Breezango and the Usos are considered two of the top teams. Now, American Alpha was the top team picked as an NXT team. But aside from that, you have teams like the Ascension, the Vaudevillains. Mm-hmm. So Breezango and Usos are two of the top teams on that brand. A very weak tag team division. Mm-hmm. And if they're leading towards giving one of them the titles, I almost expect the Usos to be the first champions of the brand.
Yeah, I was about to say, you just convinced me that it's 100% the Usos.
That being said, I'm not sure that's how they're going, and I think that Breezango gets more from a win and loses more from a loss.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to go as far as to say this. I was surprised, and you told me I might be wrong on this, and I was surprised that Goldust and R-Truth went to Raw. If Goldust and R-Truth were on SmackDown, I call Breezango as the winner. With that storyline over, and you need to pump up someone to take on an unknown assailant, Breezango, you've got whatever your story. It's the Usos. It's the Usos. Is we don't have an opponent, but we're going to need one soon.
And I'm going the opposite way. I'm going to say that the Usos lose nothing from losing. They gain nothing from winning. I think that Breezango gains a little more. The only way I see the Usos coming out on top is if, and this doesn't work as well, I said this on my other video, it doesn't work as well because they're on different shows, but if the thought process is to turn Roman heel, turn the Usos heel,
I was just about to say,
if
the Usos lose,
yeah,
they lose and then turn heel. If the Usos win, I call the Usos winning, or they're going to lose and turn heel. Not win and turn heel.
See, and my thought process, and I can see that makes more sense. But I was going to say, if they decide to cheat to win, then the Usos. But I'm going to go with Breezango. I think that
and I'm going to stick with the Usos.
You're going with the Usos. All right, so that's the difference.
Now we're back into the pay-per-view.
Now we're going to start at the bottom of their list and work our way up, because the second thing they have listed is Dean Ambrose triple threat match. So,
okay.
The number 9 match is Sasha Banks and an unknown partner versus Charlotte and Dana Brooks.
Okay. Again, hard to call. No matter how exciting this unknown partner is, she doesn't need to win the match to get her pump for being there. Charlotte and Dana Brooks, they were split up at the last minute. They were put back together when they picked Dana, and they're both on the same thing.
Right.
The Charlotte needs to be huge as a champion, but doesn't need to win a tag team match to be huge as a champion. Dana Brooks can lose, Sasha Banks can lose, and Charlotte and TBD can get their bump. All that being said, I'm going to go ahead. I got to pick somebody. I'm going to say give it to Charlotte and Dana Brooks. Sasha gets pinned.
We had this conversation just last month because it was Charlotte and Dana Brooks versus Becky and Natalya. Same exact thing last month. And I went on record saying there's no reason to have the champion in a tag team match and have her win. It's the perfect chance to have her lose with nothing on the line. This is a chance for Becky to get a pin and then go in and get a title match or something along those lines. And of course I was wrong. They used it as a vehicle to turn Natalya heel instead. So there's always a chance Charlotte wins this, but I don't see them doing the same thing 2 months in a row.
Yeah.
So I've got Sasha with her unknown partner winning. And then really a lot of it depends on the unknown partner.
And I was about to say, you said about the vehicle to turn her heel last month.
Right.
All this is an introduction to TBD.
Right.
Somebody got drafted. Who's the big monster girl? Jazz?
Nia Jax, but she's going to come in as a heel. She's not going to come in as a face.
Okay.
I think honestly, and this is what a lot of people are talking about, I think that and this, I don't want to go too much into the draft, but I think that one of the reasons Bayley possibly didn't get picked was they didn't want to ruin the surprise of this. and I think that Bailey actually is drafted, just wasn't done on the show.
Interesting.
And she's going to be the partner, and that is... Now, a lot of people are saying they've decimated the women's division, bringing up Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, Carmella, and Eva Marie, and bringing up Bailey would just really hurt them. But I think that the reason we saw 4 women that didn't deserve to be there more than Bailey get drafted is because she is going to be on Raw. She is going to be her... Sasha's partner, and we're going to get the introduction to Bailey here.
And let me ask this: we should do this again in the draft, but I got to know.
Right.
6 picks from NXT. Didn't they pick more women than men?
They picked 4 women, 2 men.
That's what I thought. And it's just the tag team.
And just the tag team, and then Finn Balor were the 2. The tag team counted as 1.
Right.
We were doing tag teams as 1. American Alphas, and then Finn Balor was the other one.
All right, so I'm gonna say I said Charlotte and Dana Brooke win,
and I'm gonna go with Sasha. The other 2 options I see as the tag team partner, or we saw Naomi return in the draft, and that's her former bad tag team partner. She's on SmackDown with the Usos.
Right.
If they want to give her go and turn her face going forward with whatever storylines on SmackDown, they could theoretically have her partner help win that match and then be on SmackDown with the Usos and face and whatever they have planned for her there. Or they can have her turn on Sasha and have her go heel if they wanted to go that route. So Naomi is a good option.
And I'm going to go all the way back to our original draft prediction video, and when I'm picking Sasha Banks' partner, I'm going right back to Heath Slater in a dress. Because the whole Heath Slater thing, and the lights go out, and he's there in the chairs. Heath Slater in a dress. I still
He doesn't even have a...
use my godlike powers.
He doesn't even have a...
turn him into a woman.
A team. And then the third or final option I see, it's got to be one of these 3 in my opinion, is Naomi or Bailey or a returning Nikki Bella.
Okay.
So Nikki Bella's timetable, we're right about the right time. Nikki
Bella
Bella would be a huge pop, someone they wouldn't surprise.
And then you're going to give her the pin over Dana. I think you're right. I think you're right. I'm going to keep my prediction. Let's go on to the next one.
Next match. The next match is the triple threat match.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the 6-man tag match. The New Day versus the Wyatt family.
New Day versus the Wyatt family. Well, man, I'll tell you, my wife and I have been really liking the storyline. We've been really liking the whole Xavier Woods thing. I felt that they ended it too quickly, and then they got right back in and started it again.
And you see, and felt like, and I said this on my other video, I feel like this came up as the worst time. They brought it up. They started this. I feel like if we had gotten a month or 2 earlier that we started, maybe skip the whole fight with the club that never really turned into a fight. They never got a one-on-one match with the club.
Yeah.
Skip that whole thing and do it later. Now they're both on Raw. You could have New Day versus Club. But if we had started it a month and a half earlier, then this could have come to conclusion.
Yeah.
But we're not at conclusion.
No.
And Bray and Eric's on SmackDown. Harper's still out, and Strowman's on Raw. And it's like there's no conclusion here. I just don't. You can't even tease the Xavier Woods joints. I mean, they've teased the Xavier Woods.
Yeah.
But he's on Raw, so even if he does change here, if he flips on New Day here, then he's on Raw and Bray's on SmackDown. There's still nothing to that.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and make my prediction. So
okay.
I'm gonna say that New Day gets a definitive hard win, end of storyline over the Wyatt family, and then they are the strong tag team champions, and Wyatt family can go on and do whatever they want after that.
I'll go even one step further, and although I predicted an Eric Rowan pin, so to not weaken the Wyatt family too much, I'm going to go as far as saying Xavier Woods is going to pin Bray Wyatt,
and that ends the thing. Yeah,
and that ends it.
Yeah.
So we're both going New Day there. So the next one is the U.S. Championship match.
Okay.
Rusev versus Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder.
Now, this is interesting, and I kind of did this together with the...
I just realized something.
Yeah.
It's probably what you're going to say, which is the energy guy from NXT.
The energy guy from NXT. No, I wasn't going to say this.
Okay, well, this might go absolutely nowhere, but I'm gonna try to follow my thought line here. The guy from NXT... Mojo Rawley.
Okay.
Is he Zack Ryder's tag team partner?
Tag team partner. Mojo Rawley.
And he's up now.
And now they're on the same team.
And they're on the same show.
Okay. And that's something we'll definitely discuss it on...
that makes my prediction easy.
For our first-time viewers, Vinny doesn't really follow NXT, so that he watches the show with a surprise with these new people. He gets to learn them new, whereas I do watch NXT, so when they come in, I'm happy for them, but I don't get that whole build-up of a new person. So we have two different perspectives.
Unfortunately, that leads to these wonderful moments where he has to figure out who Energy Guy is.
Yes. Mojo Riley, who is always hyped.
Always hyped. And that's the word I'm looking for.
Yes.
He's hyped. He's hyped. He's hyped. Okay,
So-
before all that, this was Rusev Crush for me. With him coming up, this is Rusev Crush. I'm going to put that out there.
Now, and this one is super easy. Rusev easily beats Zack Ryder because you don't kill Rusev's momentum coming off of destroying Kalisto, destroying
champion, and he's got momentum.
Got to keep that momentum going.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, like you said, Mojo Riley came up. The reason Mojo is a pick was because their tag team division is weak, and Zack Ryder versus Mojo is a tag team that they can use to build their division. So we don't put the title on the U.S. Championship on Zack Ryder here. However, the U.S. belt is on Raw. Zack Ryder is on SmackDown. So we're going to do a quick revisit of this after the next match.
Interesting.
The next match is The Miz versus Darren Young.
All right, Miz and Darren Young. Now, this is hard for me because I don't know where the rest of the world is on this, but I'm a big fan of the Darren Young storyline. I like the way that he gave him the chicken wing and Miz tapped out to the chicken wing instantaneously, which is how it used to work with Bob Backlund. Bob Backlund, yeah. I mean, it was a strong move if he got it in. So I'm gonna, without thinking too much into it, say that Darren Young wins. But I also, Barbie, my wife is Barbie. When we were talking about, they really gave Titus O'Neil a good push, and they never gave Darren Young a push, and then this push came in, and she said, I'm surprised that they're giving him so much. Man, we keep going out of focus.
Yeah, I know.
We're surprised that they keep giving him so much with this push. And I said, I bet they introduced it, people responded to it, so he got the push. If people didn't respond to it, he wouldn't get this push.
Right.
I'm one of the people responding to it.
Yeah, I liked it too, and I'm watching a lot of videos where people said, well, I really hated the Darren Young, Bob Backlund vignettes and this and that, but I'm really liking what's going on now.
Mm-hmm.
I've turned my mind around on Darren Young. I'm hearing a lot of that, and I liked the vignettes. I do agree they felt like they went on too long, but I did like him winning the Battle Royal. I do like him tapping out Miz. I really like Darren Young. So you're saying that you like what they're doing and you think they're going to give him the belt here.
Yeah, but I didn't ask which show is Darren Young on.
This is where everything goes awry.
The Miz, I know, is on Raw.
No.
SmackDown.
He's on
it's
SmackDown.
The only one we got on
opposite,
SmackDown.
Yeah, the opposite of Rusev, who's on Raw.
Uh-huh.
But Young is on Raw, the opposite of Zack Ryder. So, if Darren Young beats The Miz, both the Intercontinental and U.S. title end up on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's a matter of, if Young wins, does Zack Ryder have to win?
Mm-hmm.
Or are we saying Young wins, both titles are on Raw until SummerSlam, and we straighten out the mess there? We give Rusev a SmackDown opponent more viable than Zack Ryder, maybe Apollo Crews or Baron Corbin or something like that.
I'm a huge Miz fan. I love Miz, and I love him having the championship with Maurice. Miz as champion with Maurice, winning combination.
Absolutely. And again, I'm hearing the same things all over the place.
I want to give it to Darren Young.
You want to give it to Darren Young?
Yep.
Your choice is Darren Young, and we're going into SummerSlam with both titles on Raw, and they'll straighten it out at SummerSlam.
I think along with the Cruiserweight title, there will be a new title added, at least one, by SummerSlam.
Well, I understand that, but they're not going to end up with both the Intercontinental and U.S. on Raw.
Nope.
So that has to be straightened out by SummerSlam.
Yep.
Okay, and that's how you're going. I'm going with Darren Young wins by disqualification or countout, and the title
Gets
stays
a
on
rematch,
Miz.
and then they split.
Well,
he earns a rematch.
Earns a
but then
rematch. They fight again at SummerSlam. Rusev has a different opponent at SummerSlam. John Cena or Baron Corbin or Apollo Crews, someone that they're okay letting Rusev lose the U.S. title to, not Zack Ryder. And I think that's when the belts switch brands. Mm-hmm. But I think that Young wins, but by disqualification or countout or something like that. The title stays on this.
All right, what do we got? 4 more?
4 more matches. 1 more undercard match, and then 3 of the main event matches. Becky Lynch versus Natalya.
Oh, that's happening?
That's happening.
That's happening?
Singles match. This, to me, is as close to a coin flip as any of these matches are.
Yeah. Becky Lynch versus Natalya. Natalya's got the history. You give it to Becky Lynch to pump up your new Diva division.
They're both on SmackDown. Becky Lynch was the #1 pick.
Yeah.
Female of SmackDown. It makes her look strong to win. I pick Becky Lynch as well. I can see Natalya cheating, or if the end of it is her
heel turn
dominant. Yeah, if she's standing over her in the ring with a chair or whatever. Not that the women hit each other with chairs, but something where she didn't even.
You watch
something along those
lines.
lines.
Girls getting hit with a chair in this pay-per-view. 2016 Battleground. Girls getting hit with a chair, probably thrown by...
Becky wins by disqualification, and Natalya's standing over her dominant. Becky wins by pinfall, and then Natalya attacks her after the match. But they're not going to let Natalya win clean over her, but Natalya will be standing tall after the match to look good.
I'm interested in this next one.
All right. So the next one is, I think, for me, the hardest to pick.
And I've already made up my mind.
I went back and forth. I literally talked about it for 15 minutes. And
for this, I have
to
talk so much about the draft, but we will get to that. Guys, watch this video first if it isn't too late. How do you do that 10 minutes in? We're 21 minutes in, and I say watch this video first. But still, we're going to build on these ideas in the next video. But
John Cena and Enzo and Kaz versus the Club, AJ and Gallows.
Yeah, Club wins.
Club wins.
Club wins and then splits up.
All right.
Not splits up.
Divides. They are conquers from both sides.
Yep.
A lot of people are saying, even before this match was announced, AJ won the first one, John Cena wins the second one, and then whoever they want to win the third one wins the third one. I agree with that if you're going with a 3-match thing. That's always a John Cena regular thing. However, I don't see a 6-man tag match as counting in that. If John Cena wins, I don't say, well, John Cena won the second one. If AJ wins, I don't see it as AJ won the second one.
Sure.
So I agree with you. This is what I finally came up with was, if AJ wins, even if AJ pins John Cena, if they go that far, John Cena can start out Tuesday live saying, good job, you beat me again with the Club. Now that they're not on our show, why don't you fight me one-on-one?
Sure.
So I see the Club making more sense here.
Yep.
It gives your Gallows and Anderson a boost about to go up against the New Day.
Enzo Amore and Kaz do not need a win teaming with John Cena, and John Cena does not need a win teaming with Enzo and Kaz.
But the Club taking over and being dominant on both shows, a win here is huge. John Cena can pretty much just brush it off as, yep, you beat me again with your whole Club.
Yeah, he can talk his way out of anything.
Exactly. And Gallows and Anderson's has to be the next opponents for the New Day.
Yeah.
So give them a win, leading them that way. So I got the Club has to win this.
All right, it's 2 for the Club.
2 for the Club. All right, then we have the match, and I've heard people saying, I've had enough already, end it. Finally, they're fighting, and I'm like, they haven't fought once yet. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens is fighting for their first time since NXT one-on-one. This is something that should get dragged out for another couple months at least.
And it will, because they're on the same show.
And they're on the same show, which a lot of people are surprised of. I'm glad, because I did not want them split. And I understood the thought process behind it. I did, and I liked the thought process behind it. But I kind of want all the wrestlers on one show, the real performers. I could
SmackDown.
It didn't matter what show. Really didn't matter what show.
Well, the SmackDown is supposed to be about the wrestlers, and the Raw is going to keep being about this.
And that's what they say. Yeah. But if they had stuck the Brock Lesnar and Big Show and all those people, Chris Jericho, and stuck them over on SmackDown, and grabbed Seth Rollins and AJ Styles and Kevin Owens and Cesaro and put them all on Raw together, I would have been fine. You would have had enough for SmackDown. And this is going into the draft thing. I don't really want to go into this now. But, so I like that they're on the same show. But yes, it does mean that this is going to continue. And for me, that means that you can't let Sami Zayn win it.
can't let Sami Zayn win it. Well, I'm going Kevin Owens either way.
Right.
I like the big monster. I like Kevin Owens' character. I like his demeanor. I really like everything about him. And he's kind of a big boy, and he can move and he can flip, and I like that about him too. Sami Zayn, he seems to me young. Kevin Owens seems to me to be ready. I want them to shoot Kevin Owens right up through the ranks and give it to Kevin Owens and let Sami Zayn chase him for a while, and that's how we build Sami.
As of
and
right
the, and
now,
the audience loves Sami Zayn.
They do. They absolutely
loves
do.
him.
But you can love some. We've seen it a million times with people like Ziggler, or even better than that. You can love someone and have him just keep losing.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to win. A loss to Sami does nothing to him. However, when you look at Kevin Owens as right now the number 2 heel on Raw. Now, there may have been some heels drafted before him, like Chris Jericho, but your number 1 is Rollins. Your number 2 is Kevin Owens. He is your number 2 heel, with Bray Wyatt going to the other side and AJ Styles going to the other side. He is the number 2 heel on that brand. And a loss to Sami Zayn hurts him more than a loss to... Yeah. So Kevin Owens has to win this match.
I think we're in agreement on that, so we'll be surprised if it goes the other way.
I agree. It'll be
very to the main event now, huh?
Main event. And this one is... There are 3 options.
Yes,
which
there are.
Makes sense because there are 3 options.
And of those 3 options, there are 2 options of things that could happen within those 3 options, with the belt going to one brand or the other.
Now, the point...
So there's only 2 options.
Yeah, right. Either...
Done 3 ways.
Done 3
ways. Options of how to do these 2 options.
Now, the important thing everyone is noting, well, this is important because it shows which belt goes to which brand.
Okay.
But it really doesn't.
It doesn't, he says.
Because, let's say any one of them win. The belt goes to that brand. And the next pay-per-view, who do you think's fighting in the main event?
The next pay-per-view is
SummerSlam, which is a combined event.
So all 3 of them again.
Or if it's Rollins, it's Rollins and Ambrose. If it's Ambrose and Rollins.
If there's not a second belt, they may do a 6-man. They may do an elimination chamber.
They may do something. Exactly. And we may not see the belt ending until whatever the September pay-per-view is.
Mm-hmm.
We may not see... SmackDown may run a month and a half to 2 months here with no belt. Or Raw may run a month and a half to 2 with no belt. Because, well, we didn't get it this time, but we're going to get it at SummerSlam because that's coming up, and we're going to get you back in there. So when you look at it that way, the belt has no bearing on this.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Yes, it may be who's getting pushed on the show and how they're getting pushed on the show, but the belt and where it ends up has no bearing on this match.
Now, I think I need to point this out. When you're leaning forward and I'm leaning back, you look like a giant. I look like a little midget man next to you.
Hey, just wanted to tell you my thoughts on the pay-per-view. Look at how little I look. I just look a little. I'm like this little guy.
Even my head looks too big for my body. Too small for my body? Yeah. Okay, well, anyway, let's lean forward. Together. Wait, no, you lean back. Me no wrestling. Me. I'm a giant compared to you. Boy, way to stay on track. Now, let's pick... Now that we've got that out of the way, let's pick our winner for the main event of Payback 2016. Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. All right, we got to go a little... Yeah, we can't just pick. There's so much to talk about. First of all, I was convinced Roman Reigns was coming back as a heel until everybody said it online, on air.
It's all over the place.
On air, I'm trying to say.
On air,
once
online,
everyone started saying... I don't know what his mind is like because he's got to do it. Now, besides all that, it's hard to come back and say...
Someone even said how the audience are going to boo him. They went as far as saying the people don't like him and how much more they're going to... I don't remember the exact words that were used, but they said on air, one of the commentators said on air how much or little... the fans are going to cheer him when he comes back.
And, of course, Seth Rollins has been all over it.
Right.
And somebody else has really been harping on it as well. So one of the announcers, it might have even been during the draft show, might have been backstage like Corey Graves or something.
Yeah, I believe it might have been,
harping on that point. So
I think that maybe, and correct me if you think there's a better way to go about this, I think we both give our answer of what we think, and then we both book the ending. individually.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
All right, we're going to start with me.
All right.
All right, I'm calling Dean Ambrose to walk away with it.
Interesting. I have Seth Rollins walking away with it. I don't see them giving a clean win to Dean Ambrose on SmackDown and then having him go over in the pay-per-view. I feel like it's more like Dean Ambrose hits Dirty Deeds on Roman.
He
Roman.
did get that
then,
final clean win on Tuesday Night Live.
Yep.
So that makes it hard to make him the clean win winner at the end.
Right.
But they gave him that bump to give him a final legitimacy with the clean win over the new winner, Seth Rollins. It's almost as if they're setting up Seth Rollins to walk away with it.
Right, and that's how I feel. I feel like the most obvious thing is what WWE does. You find out what you come up with all your storylines and all what you want, but you look at the most obvious thing, Ox of Razor. The most obvious option.
Now that sounds weird to say that, but what we do is we come up with the most harebrained, crazy, out of left field thing that could happen, and that's usually not it.
Yes.
I think is your
and
point.
That's what we're about to come up with.
Yeah, because Awesome Kong comes down in the main event of the men's match, and none of that ever happens, huh?
So exactly. So
Shane was not booked for murder of Triple H.
No.
No matter how much I wanted that storyline to keep him away so he didn't get to announce his general manager, and Stephanie broke the law and didn't get caught, and he's back, and Triple H is alive, so all the charges are dropped. He didn't get to pick his general manager. None of that happened.
Yeah. So.
A better vote would be, it's kind of been leaked that it's going to be Daniel Bryan. I think it's Daniel Bryan, and it was Daniel Bryan. You see, there's that other way to take it.
Yeah, so usually So Dean Ambrose is a legitimate, just wins. Seth Rollins wins because he was made to look weaker, and Dean Ambrose was made to look stronger.
Right.
I think that's the most obvious choice, so that's what I'm going with. But
Now
would you like to book it
the
first?
Yeah, I'll book it first.
I think we're going to be similar.
Yeah, I think I have Roman turning heel. I have Roman knocked out of the match. It comes down to Seth Rollins and it comes down to Seth. Actually, I do it the other way. Seth Rollins is knocked out of the match when Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose double powerbomb him through the announcer table.
Okay.
Then they go back in, and now it's finally one-on-one that they've teased for 40 minutes. The two of them blow each other away. Seth Rollins comes in, sweeps in for the win. Looks like Seth Rollins is going to win. And then you have Spear. Dirty Deeds. Spear on
Rollins.
Spear on Rollins. Dirty Deeds on both. Not both of them. Spear Rollins. Dirty Deeds on Romans, pin Rollins, even though he did the move. Dean Ambrose is the champion. He'll turn after the match where he beats up Dean Ambrose now that the match is over.
Interesting. I have it where Seth Rollins is down.
Okay.
Maybe Roman is out of the match.
Okay.
Seth Rollins is on his butt, and Dean Ambrose is calling for the Dirty Deeds or something.
All right.
Triple H comes down and hits triple threat match, no disqualifications.
All right.
He hits Dean Ambrose.
Okay. Triple
rolls
H
him,
comes down.
rolls
Very
him
nice.
over. Seth Rollins comes over to pin him. Triple H hits Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns takes the pin. Triple H raises Roman Reigns' arm up, gives him the belt, and you have a double switch. Rollins becomes a tweener/face. Roman becomes the heel and the authorities guy.
I will accept that if it happens.
Yes,
I will accept
absolutely.
that.
And then
I love
every single person will boo Roman Reigns because you'll either boo him because you hate him, or you'll boo him because you're a mark, and you're supposed to boo him, and then he will become the best heel this company has seen since I can't think of one.
Hey guys, listen, if you agree with us, let us know below. If you disagree with us, let us know as well. We almost didn't do this.
No, we were running out of time. A lot of going on. We had to edit the previous videos, and we almost didn't get this done. But we got to get this up. And
do you know his name? We actually had somebody write in and say, "Hey guys, you should do a."
Kiss Rocks. Yes, he's one of my viewers.
Hey, Kiss Rocks, thank you so much. This is just for you. If you hadn't wrote in and specifically asked for it, we might have missed this one.
Yeah.
But anybody has anything they want to say, please comment below, just like Kiss Rocks did. We might do a whole video for you. That's what I think about Payback. You got anything else to add?
Nope, I think that's pretty much, we put all our input out there. If you like the video, like and comment below. Subscribe subscribe if you want to see more.
And we got our email coming up at the end. It'll be right on the screen. Our email is
moreonwrestling@gmail.com.
not more on wrestling, more on wrestling.
More on wrestling.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Vinny.
And I'm Spectrum.
We'll see you next time.